Hello and welcome to our Tech Tuesday webinar. Today we are looking at a topic that has been important in industrial manufacturing for years and is also becoming even more relevant by the day. We're talking about robotics, and today we are focusing on robotics and its requirements for brakes. My name is Tim Schöllmann and I'm pleased to welcome my colleague Simon Janke, who will give us some interesting insights into this field. Simon, it's good to have you here today, and maybe you can introduce yourself briefly at the beginning.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation. My name is Simon Janke. I'm 27 years old and I have been working for the export sales for brakes and clutches for KEB for more than 3 years. And I'm particularly focused on the field of robotics and the challenges associated with it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's get started with a more of a general question. What role does robotics play in the industry today, and what potentials does it offer?
Yeah, during automation, to save costs and to relieve employees, recurring work steps are replaced by industrial robots. And technically or physically high demanding work steps, for these work steps, cobots are used to support employees and improve the work steps. And at the end, automation and support can improve quality of the products, can speed up some working processes, and of course save costs. For quite complicated processes, industrial robots can be used to automate these complex processes. And the advantage over humans is that such an industrial robot do not get tired and can work through all the time with consistent quality.
All right. So, and are there areas of application in which robotics is increasingly being used?
Yeah, the robotic is divided into 4 main segments. It's the industrial robots, which play a major role on the automation, and the medical robots, for example, surgical robots like the Da Vinci. And the advantage over humans is that such a medical robot can stay still all the time during a surgical operation, for example. And there are also warehouse robots, which can automate a complex network of storage parts. And the advantage is that several robots can be used at the same time to perform a wide range of tasks while they are communicating with each other. And the last segment are the agricultural robots, which are to support farmer, for example, on the field to control and organize weeds on the field, or to clean cow barns. Yeah.
All right. So then let's now look at the subject of brakes. Brakes, I don't have to tell you, have a long tradition at KEB and are also in demand in the field of robotics. So what are the main tasks of the brake in robots?
Yeah, brakes are used wherever masses are to be slowed down or held into safety position. We have in robots fast movements with high masses. If we, for example, a car body handled by an industrial robot with a high mass, and the result is a high mass of inertia, and from this results a high torque, which is required on the brake. Yeah, the positioning of the arm is controlled by the motor, and the brake is only responsible to hold the robotic arm into safety position. So, for example, if in an emergency case, if the power supply goes out, the brake should be applied to safely slow down the movement and hold the robotic arm into safety position. And that's also the reason why a power-off safety brake is necessary in robotics.
So KEB has a wide range of brakes in its product portfolio. Can you say whether there's a trend in which brake in particular is used in robotics?
The application in field of robotics is quite specific. Therefore, we don't have this one special brake which can meet all the requirements in the robotics. We have more wide range of products which meet all the requirements of the robotics. But we noted that the trend in robotics goes definitely towards a safety brake. And safety, what is a safety brake? That means that it's a brake which is engaged without power.
Mm. And you have already mentioned industrial robots and cobots. And if we stick to these examples, what brakes are used in these two use cases?
Yeah, KEB is offering two types of brakes. It's the spring-applied brake with a maximum torque of 2000 Newton meter, and the permanent magnet brake, the P1, with a maximum torque of 145 Newton meter. And the difference is that the spring-applied brake, or the main difference is that besides the size and the design, of course, that the spring-applied brake is constantly closed after the brake is worn out. So that's the reason why this brake is called a safety brake. And the combi stop can be equipped with a lot of accessories. On the other hand, the combi perm is more compact with a higher power density.
So where are these brakes especially used? Or let me ask you, what are the respective advantages of a permanent magnet and a spring-applied brake?
Okay, each brake has its own characteristics and advantages. And let's talk about at first the combi stop, the spring-applied brake. The big advantage here is that this is a power-off safety brake. What is a safety brake? Safety brake means that after the brake is worn out, the brake is constantly closed and can hold the application, let us say, into position also after the brake is worn out. And you can equip the combi stop with a lot of accessories, like a hand release lever, for example. In case you have to release the brake manually, you can pull just the lever to release the brake, or to equip it with a micro switch to monitor the wear or the status of the brake, if the brake is open or closed. And we can also protect the brake against humidity and water up to IP67. And if the customer don't have the right friction surface, let us say, we can also add on the brake a flange to have the permissible friction surface. If we talk about the combi perm,
so which is the permanent magnet brake?
It's a permanent magnet brake. We have one crucial point which differs from the combi stop, from the spring applied brake. It's a property to be backlash free. So with the combi stop we are not backlash free. And one additional point is that the combi perm can be engaged with residual torque free. That's also a big advantage over the combi stop. Also, the P1 is characterized by its compact design and fast switching times. And of course, it's characterized by its power density. So that means the brake is very compact at the end. We can also equip the P1 with a lot of accessories. It's different from the combi stop. For example, we can use a felt ring to prevent that oil or grease getting onto the surface and at the end influencing the torque level. Also, we can supply an extended hub, which are used to pre-adjust an air gap on the combi perm. And also we have the opportunity to use cables on the combi perm with free alignment. But my colleagues Henrik and Philip talked already about a new product with a lot of new properties, and these special properties I mentioned now should be standard for the future.
Yeah, and if you want to learn more about this new technical development Simon talked about, then I highly recommend you the webinar Brake Innovations for Your Servo Motor, which is in German language, and you can request on our webinar website. Simon, and can you give us some figures on the frame range in which the Combi Stop and the Combi Perm are located here?
Yeah, now I will tell you about some technical data. The smallest spring applied brake has just an outer diameter of 40 millimeter and a torque of 0.3 Newton meter, compared with the biggest one with an outer diameter of 306 millimeter and a maximum torque of 2000 Newton meter. And if we talk about the permanent magnet brake, we have here the smallest diameter of 18 millimeter with just a torque of 0.1 Newton meter, and the biggest brake with 161 millimeter has a torque of 145 Newton meter. Yeah, I talked already about the new product we are developing currently. We are even better with this new product, even smaller, with a higher performance, higher power density. But at the end, between the Combi Stop and the Combi Perm, there are several differences. How I already mentioned, you can equip the brakes with different accessories, and besides this, disengaging is residual torque free at the Combi Perm, and the Combi Perm is backlash free. Besides this, the Combi Stop is better protected against splashing water and humidity, and it's also possible to have a higher number of emergency stops with the Combi Stop. And the main difference between these two types is actually, already mentioned, that after both type of brakes are worn out, the Combi Stop is continuously closed, during the Combi Perm is continuously opened.
And one aspect you already mentioned are the fast switching times. Why are these so important in the field of robotics?
In robotics, especially in industrial robots, everything is designed on efficiency and save costs, and therefore here is a brake needed, which with fast switching times, and which at the end requires these needs of the robotics, and therefore fast switching times are that important. To give you just an example, from the smallest brake, we only need 2 milliseconds to engage the brake, and for the biggest one, we need just 12 milliseconds to engage the brake.
Okay. So, and you talked already about the permanent and the spring applied brakes, and obviously there are different reasons for using one of them. But what does it look like in practice? So, what requirements do brakes in robotics have to meet?
Yeah, in robotics, work is done with or on people, and that means at the end that a brake should be reliable and able to maintain the required performance. And in medical, for example, is it like you need a high safety level in medical industry, and therefore you need a bigger sized brake or a brake with more torque, and it's necessary to use a brake with a high power density, because you not always have the space to mount the brake, so you need a small brake with a high power density. and sometimes high positioning accuracy is even more important. If I can give you an example, you have a robotic arm from industrial robot, which weld a steam on a car body, for example, and this should be really exactly. So positioning accuracy is very important. And also, if we talk about the industry, a long service lifetime on brakes is also very important.
And sometimes it's important for a brake to be backlash free. So what are the advantages for the robot application if the brake is backlash free?
Okay, let's talk about the disadvantage if the brake is not backlash free. So the exact positioning of the robotic, or for example a robotic arm from an industrial robot, is not possible if a brake is not backlash free. So you can compare it with a steering wheel from a car. You have always a little bit backlash in the wheel, and so especially in the industry, work is carried out with a high degree of accuracy and precision, and this makes the positioning accuracy and the holding of exact position more important. And if you have an industrial robot which weld a car body, let us say, so the welding steam should be very precisely on the right position, or a robot should stop on the spot which is intended for him. It's in this case very important to have a backlash-free brake.
Okay, so now there are very different requirements for a brake depending on what the robot is used for. So how can you ensure, or how can KEB ensure that the user always finds the right solution?
Okay, KEB is a known supplier of customized solutions, and in the rarest case we deliver just goods from the catalog. And so this distinguishes us as a provider who responds to customer wishes. And we have always the right solution in our bag, let us say. So we have a high vertical range of products and a long experience since 1972 with a strong team behind, a strong sales team and also a strong engineering team from which the customer at the end benefits.
So in the end you can say that individuality is a standard at KEB. And if you are also looking for your own personal solution, you can contact Simon. The contacts are shown right now. And this brings us to the end of our today's webinar. Simon, thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. It remains for me to refer to our Tech Tuesday website, where you always find interesting topics from a wide range of areas. Have a look right there. And thanks for your interest, and we hope to see you next time.